I'm Reb Risti, head Rebel at REBL Marketing, and I'm here today with Thor Eakes, who's going to talk to us a little bit about his business, but also the advice that he's been giving businesses and what we should be planning for in 2021. Hi, Thor. How are you?
Good. I'm real good. How are you, Reb?
I'm good. I'm excited for 2021. So I'm looking forward to talking to you. I know that you are an expert in your field. And so speaking of that, maybe you can just tell my audience a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Well, as they call me, I'm the CPA and spiritual leader of Eakes & Company CPAs. And we spend our days helping small business owners and their companies and helping them stay out of trouble with the IRS and help them grow their business and keep them, on the right track. So,
yeah, staying out of trouble with the IRS is probably a good thing. What's your number one tip to do that?
Well, it's really nice that you make sure you stay current on your filings and there are no mistakes, because if you get behind and you are not staying in compliance, that draws attention, and a couple of guys could be knocking on your door. So,
oh yeah, that's probably not very fun then. Well, so just to get the conversation started, I know you work with a lot of businesses. What in general are businesses kind of thinking about, just how 2020 has evolved so far, and also with the new presidency coming in? What are businesses talking about right now?
okay. The biggest thing that businesses are working with right now is staffing. I think that's probably the number one idea. It seems like we have businesses that are really accelerating because of COVID. Lots of people are spending their time and money on improving their homes and investing there, because they didn't spend the money this year on, let's say, vacations, travel, things like that. Those types of companies are gearing up and working towards, getting the right kind of people to help them. The second issue they have too is the supply chain. Can they get the products they need here to turn around and sell them? One thing that's been a little sad and disappointing here recently, we went back from the red, whatever you call it, to
Purple?
we're now at the purple level.
Yeah.
And that really hurts the businesses like restaurants, things like that. And it's really tough when, you're trying to survive at that level to bring in the business. So it's a hope and a prayer from the standpoint of, will they be getting some relief? But it's a little discouraging this last time when we went up to the purple level, because, we've been doing this for 9 months now. And I think it's taken a toll on certainly some folks. So,
yeah. Oh, I absolutely agree. I mean, I think as a small business myself, we cut back, we lost clients. Things are fortunately picking back up, in the marketing field, because marketing should be strategic. We're seeing that businesses are starting to come back and they're saying, okay, we want to get ready for 2021. But like industries like hospitality, it's going to be interesting to see how many are able to bounce back. But it's, I'm downtown, so we're able to see the restaurants. They're open up. They're building some very elaborate, outside, areas now that the weather's changing. But I think, nationwide, we're fortunate in San Diego would do that, but nationwide, I just don't know.
yes.
Yeah. You mentioned, though, there are industries that are doing well. Is that like home improvement? What other industries are doing well?
Well, the ones I see that are really screaming is not only the home improvement, but the landscape and contractors, stuff like that. But construction in general is really going gangbusters.
Okay.
And add in the fact that we have very low interest rates, probably the lowest we have seen ever that is really accelerating people to buy homes and refinance and things of that. So real estate and construction is really going well. And the companies that supply those types of products are doing pretty busy. So.
Okay, well, yeah, and then that makes sense. It does. I know we're just on a personal level, doing the refinance thing, but yeah, that makes sense. So, I'm sure your favorite topic, right? Taxes and advising businesses on that. What do you see as far with the new presidency in 2021? I mean, I know a small business owner and a lot of my, fellow business owners were talking about what should we be preparing for?
I always call this topic deja vu all over again, because everything that President Trump has done in the last 4 years from a tax standpoint, it looks like Biden and the Democratic Party is going to reverse all that. So there's a few things that everybody needs to keep an eye on. The first thing they need to worry about is that some of the higher income taxpayers, they're going to resurrect the 39.6% tax rate. Everything I've read to date, that starts at taxable income over $400,000. The biggie is the capital gains rate, which currently is at 20% for some folks and 15% to the other. But any capital gains over $1 million will be taxed at ordinary income rates after 2020. That's what they're proposing to do. So that's at 39.6%. So if you're selling a big asset like a piece of real estate or a business, there could be a significant tax increase if that gets put through in 2021. Now, some small businesses that have pass-through entities like S Corps, LLCs, things like that, they've been offered a 20% 20% deduction, additional deduction for their businesses, and that is going to be repealed. So that's a little bit disappointing. Now, on the individual side, they're talking about resurrecting the state tax deduction. We are all capped here in California at $10,000, and they are going to get that back to where we had it before, where there really was no limitation. But the catch is that alternative minimum tax will be back in here to stay. So folks who have a fairly large amount of state tax deduction, it'll be certainly better than the $10,000, but they will have to be concerned about alternative minimum tax. They cut down the home mortgage interest deduction based on a limit of $750,000. Mm-hmm. So they wanted to increase that back to $1 million. So there's some good news there.
Okay.
And then the corporations that the companies that are C corporations, it's a flat 21% rate now, mm-hmm. and they're entertaining the idea of making that a flat 28%. So that's a little tough on the small businesses. If $1 of your profits are being taxed at 28%, and that's just the federal. So
yeah. Wow. What can, businesses be doing now? Is there anything to do now to prepare for that?
Well, if anybody is open, the strategy right now, if anyone is entertaining the idea of paying tax on a capital gain this year versus next year, looks attractive. So they should be thinking about that. I know a lot of folks that are selling their businesses might want to try and accelerate that if they possibly can. That's the biggest thing. You'd want to delay some of your state payments and property tax payments. So hopefully what you pay in the following year, you'll have a fighting chance of deducting those. So that is, the two things that we're looking at right now. So.
Okay, great. Well, this has been very informative. I think, taxes and business planning is always a hot topic. So if you could leave my audience with one tip or thing that you would want them to do as soon as they finish watching this video, what should they do?
Oh, wow. Go out and enjoy the sunshine. I'll put it that way. We'll start with that because we've had beautiful 75-degree weather, not a cloud in the sky, and my relatives in Chicago, I hate rubbing in their face, but I do. So, it's a shame on them. But I think the thing that they need to keep in mind is keep your chin up. A lot of people are thinking with the new president that, we're going to go down the tubes, and we're not. Business will go on, and we will do just fine. So I'm really hoping our COVID gets cleared here really, really soon. We get our vaccine, and everybody can enjoy each other's company, which I think we're all missing here. So.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. And I love that. Enjoy lunchtime. Maybe one more tip. You are probably one of the best networkers that I know. What have you been doing right now with all the virtual meetings? Like, how are you still getting out there and meeting with people and connecting with people?
Well, besides all the social media we do and all that, when we were prior to the purple level, as I call it, I was a big fan of meeting at the outdoor lunch spot. So we still did a fair amount of that, and breakfasts, things like that. So I think it's important to keep that up as much as you can. And then I think we do a pretty good job with LinkedIn. We do a lot of posts in that area and try to stay in touch with people. So that's probably the biggest stuff we do now. And some people want to meet face to face, some people don't. So I did a whole bunch of Zoom seminars earlier in the year when we had the PPP loan and the loan forgiveness and all that. A lot of people haven't worked on getting their loan forgiven yet. And there's been some strategy there about maybe delaying that till after the first of the year. So that's something business owners should keep their eye on that too. So
yeah, no, I think that's really good advice. Actually, I received a PPP loan, and I've been speaking with my banker, and they've recommended that same thing because we don't know what the guidelines are going to be. And I was on a much smaller level, so could be completely forgiven, and I won't have to even do much. So
right, and then people, don't be alarmed if you've gone past the 24 weeks or things like that, because we're all in a holding pattern on that. And so some people are always worried that if I don't get it forgiven by the deadline, it'll never be forgiven. And trust me, it will be forgiven. So
good. All right, everyone, you heard it here by Thor Eakes. You will be forgiven.
Yes, with the PPP loan, I can't vouch for everything, but
we'll just let 2020 be forgiven and say goodbye to it.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Thor.
Thank
And
you,
if people
really
wanted to get a hold of all things, if people want to get a hold of you, what's the best way for them to do that?
They can certainly email me at thor@eakescpas.com. We can always do that. Call me on a phone number, 858-332-4201. And certainly through LinkedIn, they can send me little notes and stuff like that too. So
perfect. All right. Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you. Appreciate it.